I stood at the Lion Gate at Mycenae not long ago, looking up at those two massive carved lions, ancient, inscrutable, and something struck me. Cassandra stood here too, brought here as a prisoner, a prize of war, at the end of everything she had foreseen, and, unlike me, she knew exactly what was coming next. You may have just seen Christopher Nolan's film. It's amazing, isn't it? The fire, the chaos, Troy in flames, the Trojan horse, the fall rendered in extraordinary detail. And you may have found yourself wondering, as people have wondered for 3,000 years, did any of this actually happen? Is it true? That's what I want to explore. Not whether there was a literal war, a literal wooden horse, but whether these stories, the Iliad in the wider cycle of Troy, carries a truth that goes deeper than history. I think they do. And Cassandra is the key to understanding what that truth is. Cassandra was a princess of Troy, daughter of Priam, sister of Hector and Paris. The god Apollo loved her and gave her the gift of prophecy. She could see what was coming, clearly, always, accurately, and when she refused him, he placed a condition on the gift. She would always see the truth, and no one would ever believe her. Think about what that means. Not just personal tragedy, though it is that. The knowledge exists, the warning is given, and it makes no difference whatsoever. Troy cannot hear what Cassandra knows, and that inability, that structural deafness, is precisely why Troy falls. It starts before the war begins. At the birth of Paris, the seers prophesy that this child will bring destruction to Troy. The advice is unambiguous: expose him, leave him on the mountainside. But he's beautiful, he's beloved, and he's spared. Years later, Paris travels to Sparta. He is received as a guest by King Menelaus and steals his wife Helen. Now Helen in this tradition is more than a beautiful woman. She is born, the myths tell us, from an egg. She's daughter of Zeus and a mortal queen. She represents something, a form of beauty that doesn't belong to the ordinary world, that carries something luminous and inviolable about it. She's not Paris's to take. In taking her, Paris sets a catastrophe in motion. Cassandra has seen this. She's always seen it. She speaks. No one listens. What follows is a pattern, and it's worth paying attention to because it repeats and repeats until the end. When the Greek ships are first sighted on the horizon, Cassandra speaks, and she's not believed. When the great wooden horse appears at the gates of Troy, the strange gift left behind by an enemy who apparently has sailed away, Cassandra speaks again. Do not bring it inside the walls. She is not believed. She's not alone in this warning. Laocoön, a priest, cries out the same thing. Do not trust the gifts of the Greeks. He's dragged into the sea by serpents before his words can take hold. The wooden horse enters the city, Troy celebrates, and in the night, the horse opens. Every warning given, none of them heard. This is not coincidence, it's the signature of Troy's destruction. There is something else happening beneath the surface of these stories, and Nolan's film, however inadvertently, touches on it. Both Apollo and Athena, two of Troy's great divine protectors, withdraw before the end. Apollo's withdrawal takes a specific form. It happens through Cassandra. Her words remain true, they always will be, but they fall on deaf ears, as if the god has drawn a veil between her knowing and anyone else's understanding. The divine thread is still there, but it can no longer be grasped. In Nolan's film, there is a disturbing scene. A woman, a Trojan, somehow associated with Athena, is executed. Her head removed. The head of a statue is cast down stone steps. Its graphic is brutal. And I think it misses the deeper point. But it does capture something. When a civilization loses its connection to wisdom, not military strength, not strategy, but something older and more fundamental, it is not argued out of it, it is simply cast down, dismissed, overlooked, until it is gone. Here is what I believe these stories are really about. Troy and Greece in this telling represent two entirely different ways of meeting reality. Troy's mode is ancient, prophetic, intuitive, connected to a kind of knowing that doesn't perceive by logic or strategy. Cassandra embodies it completely in its purest and most tragic form. She sees, not by reasoning her way to conclusion, but by direct perception of what is, a clairvoyant knowing. Greece being something different. Odysseus is its representative, clever, strategic, inventive. The Trojan horse is not a divine sign, it's a trick. A new kind of intelligence is at work. Troy cannot recognize this because it doesn't operate this way. It cannot be defended against that which it cannot understand. And Cassandra, who sees and understands everything, has been made incapable of being understood in return. Two words in collision, and only one of them can survive this encounter. So, is this story true? The Iliad is not military history, perhaps. The archaeologist can argue about that, but as a portrait of what happens when one way of knowing the world gives way to another, when those who see most clearly are the least heard, when wisdom is not defeated in argument but simply decapitated, cast aside. I find it more true than history can contain. Cassandra arrives at Mycenae. She looks up at those carved lions at the gate, stony eyes, inscrutable, ancient. She knows what waits inside the palace. She walks forward anyway. This is not legend, this is something that we can recognize. In our next video, we will follow the man who won this war, Odysseus, the clever one, the strategist, the one who built the horse. You might think his story is a triumph, but the journey home takes 10 years, and what he has to find is not just a route back to Ithaca. Nolan's film has things to say about that journey, some genuinely interesting, but some disappoint entirely, and we will look at both.